Hey everyone, Nathan Hayes, IDOC Practice Finance Consultant with the question of the week. And the question of the week is, and we've touched on this some already, but it's what are the opportunities I have coming out of COVID-19 or even in the midst of it a little bit to improve my business? And I want to cite three broad areas. One would be some operational changes that lead to higher sell-through rates and capture rates in the optical. The second would be hiring opportunities, particularly for doctors. And the third would be what are some acquisition opportunities? So first, what are the operational changes we can make? I think that because doctors have been forced to slow down and haven't been able to just write off maybe subconsciously patients that would go to Costco or would go to Warby Parker's in the optical, we're seeing higher capture rates. And I think there's three things driving it in short. One, because of the need for social distancing, we're limiting the dead time patients have in the office. So no one's just sitting in the waiting room, sitting in a lane, waiting for the doctor. And this means that they're getting more quality time, patients by and large. And because practices have slowed down, more quality time with the doctor, and the doctor's feeling some pressure to sell through with each patient encounter because we can't just make it up and see 25, 30 patients a day when we need to enforce social distancing. So doctors are prescribing more to the patients, which has always been key to eyewear sales in particular. And not only that, because even though the doctor's getting some more time, because we're limiting dead time, the patient actually gets more time in optical because they've still budgeted an hour to come in, and more time in optical tends to lead to more eyewear sales. And so, yes, I would accept that there's some reasons for the stimulus bills giving patients excess dollars to spend on eyewear, leading to multiple pair sales, and not everyone's seeing the same increase, but we're seeing the numbers optical sales have recovered incredibly well relative to the patient volume coming through offices. So I think those things are really affecting it, as well as opticians are curating a selection of frames instead of just leaving patients to touch everything in your optical. And that's been shown many times before to increase sell-through because patients don't know, they don't want to choose, they want a professional to style them out in great looking eyewear. And so I hope those are some things that I think as I talk to owners, we may actually just keep doing, even once we're able to see 30 patients a day, if that's your flow, or 20 patients a day, that, doctors still need to continue to focus on prescribing, selling through, et cetera. So on the hiring side, two things to say. One, I think the staffing, like for non-OD staff, it's still a very tough market, and it remains so. Unemployment effects or otherwise, with the extra $600, $400, or whatever comes out of that being in place. But I do think there's opportunities to hire associates if you've been looking. I think a lot of associate doctors who are in more corporate settings, ophthalmology, and this is anecdotal, but it keeps popping up, are very unhappy with how they were treated and are maybe rethinking, do I really need to grind for this company that doesn't care for me if I could be in a private practice, practicing full scope optometry and exercising my gifts that way. So I think there's some opportunity. Work your networks, especially with your reps, to ask if anyone's looking right now. They're probably not openly looking, and you'd rather get connected with an introduction than just sort of posting a job ad. But I think there's some opportunities there to recruit someone into the practice, especially if you have ownership opportunities down the line. Thirdly, acquisition opportunities, and these are twofold. One, and for better and for worse, at the start of this, a bunch of young ODs who are motivated came to me and said, hey, how do I get connected with practices that maybe want to take their risk off the table after COVID? And I do think young ODs, there are plenty of opportunities if you are motivated to reach out to your older colleagues and say, hey, are you ready? Because I can buy you out and employ you for a while you have a smooth path to retirement. And there are a lot of older ODs who are looking to retire. If you're outside of IDOC, if you don't own a practice yet too, there's a lot of opportunity there as well. But there's plenty of chances to sell. The other opportunity I see is it's gonna be for real estate. I don't know that real estate's really suffered as much yet that you're gonna get a screaming deal. But I think if that's something you've been thinking about, it either is now or it's going to be a really good time to assess even just moving to a bigger but more affordable space, whether or not you own. But real estate's going to be an opportunity going forward. So I think, last word of caution, I think taxes are going to be a zoo in 2021 for the 2020 tax year. So I wouldn't go blow all your excess cash right now. I would be very sort of defensive of it. But to the extent that you have talked to your CPA and have some cash on the sidelines, there's some opportunities to look at investing in your future. Space, doctors, buying something up. and look at what's happening and ask, what should we keep doing that's been going well? So that's the question of the week. This is Nathan Hayes with IDOC, and as always, we're here for you.